All right, let's go to Green Bay. They're hosting the Chargers. Chargers favored by 3 on the road here. Packers coming off a loss to the Steelers last week. And Chargers had their heartbreaker against the Lions. They could not stop Detroit the entire game. Interesting battle here because Herbert's coming off of his best game, I think, for the Chargers. And Jordan Love coming off of his best game with the Packers. 5 big-time throws. They just got, stopped in the red zone. 1 out of 5 in the red zone last week. So some positivity for Green Bay last week, even though I think their run defense had one of their worst games of the season.
It did, yeah. I thought Jordan Love played well last week. Like, if that was kind of the version of Jordan Love I think we were expecting, given everything you knew about him before this season. Like, a lot of big-time throws in that game last week against Pittsburgh. Some of them were rewarded, some of them were not. But, and there was a mistake or two in there as well. So, but that was kind of and despite the big-time throws, there was still like just a basic level of inaccuracy with the football. Like, his ball location on the average pass is as bad as any quarterback I can remember in recent times. Like, even passes that are complete, even big-time throws, the ball location isn't good. Like,
well, they shouldn't be charted as big-time throws if the ball location's that bad, I hope.
Yeah, there's enough space that it's probably still... Anyway, he threw a deep touchdown at Jaden Reed, right, last week. And that ball was probably 2 yards off where it should have been. Like, Reed had to slow down, back up the DB to give himself the space to still catch it and be able to get the touchdown. It's 2 yards off where it needed to be. There was a shot to Luke Musgrave on a seam. Again, like, the location is just like 2 yards away from where it's supposed to be. There's enough space and enough time that he can adjust, and it ends up being a big first down for them anyway. But, like, it's actually amazing how far off he is on some of these passes. That's what's killing him at the moment. Like, up until last week, he hadn't really shown the big plays either. Last week, there was some big throws in there, but that basic level of inaccuracy is just putting a cap on how good this entire offense can be, because every throw, you're making it harder than it needs to be, right? Even if you're completing it, you're halting yards after the catch, or you're inviting DBs to make it contested or whatever. And that's before you get to the ones where your inaccuracy is bad enough that they're no longer completions. Like, you're missing throws because of that inaccuracy. So, if you get last week's version of Jordan Love, the Chargers defense is a great get-right spot for any offense right now. But that basic level of inaccuracy is not going anywhere for him.
Remember the Chargers last week, and I know the Lions offense, they're very good. They've been shut down a few times over the last couple of years, but they get into those grooves. And you highlighted very well on the Monday show, Ben Johnson in that groove for Detroit against the Chargers. They didn't have an answer for anything. Run game, pass game. When they finally did try to commit more people to the run, they get torched through the air. So it is an opportunity, as you mentioned, for the Packers to maybe build on what they did last week. Packers just have to figure out a way to get the ball in the end zone. If they keep moving the ball the way they did, 388 yards last week, because that's what they do. That's what teams do against the Steelers. But yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on basically the Chargers for the rest of the season here. Brandon Staley, I think, fighting for his life here as the head coach of the Chargers. A tough one last week, but this is one that they need. You can't fall. You can't fall any further behind. The Raiders right now are officially in second place in the AFC West.
Right. It's like a litmus test in the bad direction for the Chargers. Like, if your defense can't slow down the Packers offense, how bad is it? Like, that's not good.
I just wonder if for the Packers, remember last year Christian Watson had this turning point?
Yep.
We had a listener predict week 9 or whatever it was that he would be the best receiver, and it was almost to a T, where he became uber deep threat. Very promising end to his rookie season, even though he's been inconsistent this year and is not a well-rounded receiver. But was this a tipping point for the Packers and all of the young playmakers that we've been citing this year, that they're going to just start getting better? Because there's a world here where the Packers finish strong offensively for the rest of the year, and it's like, all right, we feel good about Jordan Love. We feel good about these young pass catchers. Might want to add more to the mix, but something to build on for the rest of the year. And if you're the Chargers, I mean, all you have to do is stack wins. I mean, that's the only answer here. There's a lot of talent, both sides of the ball. I'd still like to see more people emerge beyond Keenan Allen. You need to see Quentin Johnston be a little bit more consistent, catch the ball. He actually caught a couple passes last week. They need more from him. And, Chargers, man, sitting here at 4-5, disappointing us once again. The latest rumor, we're going to have a lot of these. Mm-hmm. This is going to be Bill Belichick's next spot.
Everywhere is going to be Bill Belichick's next
He's
spot.
going to Washington. He's going to the Chargers. Going to the Giants.
Dano was out there saying he knows where it's going to be, but he's not telling anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hate that.
Yeah.
Hate that is the thing.
All right, so what are we looking at in this game? +3, Green Bay.
Yeah, I
Where are
mean,
you leaning?
I think Green Bay, I think their offense is going to have success. I think the Chargers, remember, we wondered if their pass rush was back or if they just run up against bad players. Well, their pass rush was nowhere last week. So I think the Packers offense is going to have success. Then it's a case of what their defense can do, which is banged up a bit at the moment against the Chargers offense. Green Bay underdogs by 3. I will go for Green Bay covering that.
Yeah, I'll take Green Bay as the home underdogs here as well. I think despite scoring 19 points last week, I am optimistic that the offense can continue to improve here.